What's up, bottom liners? How you doing? Welcome back to another episode. Hey, this is the weekend and review show for the weekend. We're going to touch everything from the week that we've seen that we want to talk about. We're going to speak about some things that caught our attention. And I got my fellow podcaster, I'm consider my co-host, the one and the only Doc Reed. What's up, sir? How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, I am doing terrific, man. Today was an awesome day. Felt great outside. Cooked on the grill to make sure my family had some food to eat before I got on this thing. Make sure they take care of the family. You know what I'm saying? And so, go ahead. My bad. I'm ready.
I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah, you gotta take care of the family, before everything good. So, yeah.
So when we in the weekend review, on the weekend, it's free flow, free form. That makes sense. We're talking anything we want to talk about, man. We're gonna talk about, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure that what we talk about, make it clear for the people that's watching, and we're gonna speak to them, and we're gonna make sure that hey, if they want to speak, they speak. They could put in the comments what they want to answer. They got any perspectives? I don't like to say the word opinion, and then we're just gonna go from there. That makes sense. But as you see, there's new things on my screen. HelloFresh. And and my sponsors. So before we get into any discussion, I have to shout out to my sponsors. Give me one few seconds, guys. Here we go. HelloFresh.
HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit delivery service and health meal plan. Meal kits that range from wide ranges of recipes. 16 free HelloFresh meals across 9 boxes, and first box ships free. Use my promo code POP95334 for 65% off your first box. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
That's my sponsor. So hey, got a shout out to who's they're trying to pay the bills over here. But yeah, so sir, before how was your day? How was your day?
Pretty good, man. I got up, I was a little active, went out, did a little lawn work, got rid of some wasp nests that were roaming around my front lawn. So a little active. After that, I just been winding down, so.
Amen. No, the same thing. My wife did the exact same thing when I was cooking the grill. She helped me out because I'm supposedly allergic to bees. So she knocked down the wasp nest was forming around the grill. She told me to move. I said, my wife's a warrior. She's a champion. She's my champion. She's my help. She takes care of me real good. And but you know what? So one thing I forgot to do. I forgot to run the intro. So let's do the intro. Then we're gonna get right into the topics because
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Sitting on the block, let me rock this here. We was down, but we came up this year.
All right, quick intro. So my main thing right now is people want to know like what's going on with the NBA, what's going on with the players, what's going on with the coaches, what's going on with the teams. And right now we see the Lakers, like a few years, 3 weeks ago, we see a lot of teams made a lot of big trades, right? We see that, Russell Westbrook was traded to the Utah Jazz and they bought out his contract. Then when they bought out his contract, then they sent him to the Clippers. And the Clippers, was going up. Now, I don't know, they're kind of mediocre right now. But at the same time, they look formidable. You know what I'm saying? And then the Lakers was dead in the water. People just put them out of the contention completely. Now LeBron hurt his ankle, and now that LeBron hurt his ankle and everything, he pretty much, he pretty out for a few weeks. And now, they still winning. AD, he's healthy. I hope he stays like that. Is scoring 33 points. Just doing his thing. So. Not to shadow all that, then the NBA has this midst of troubles, and no other than Ja from Memphis. I'm gonna get your perspective on that. That's our first topic right there. Cause we had to give the highlight first, the good things about what we want to talk about versus putting out the bad. Cause we're not doom and gloom over here. We just want to talk and make sure that people understand that we're trying to keep it very positive. positive, but we're gonna speak our mind though, because it doesn't matter. We're gonna speak it. So I'm just gonna say, what about Ja, man? Well, give me your thoughts about his situation, his gun charges,
Yeah.
teenager. Let me talk to me about it, sir.
Well, I mean, they've been riding the story. I can start with there. I can't even watch ESPN no more because it's 90% that topic right now, and 10% of, I guess, basketball, football, or any other sport. But that situation, man, I guess now that I realize that I'm getting older, the guys who's in the NBA now, they're young. They're young.
Right.
They're young guys. They're gonna be easily influenced. They get too, in my opinion, anyways. I don't want to say nobody gets too much money because you dedicate your life, to a certain thing. That's your career. You put in a lot of work into it. So I don't want to discredit nobody, but I mean, you coming in, you become the face of a franchise real early in your career. They go ahead and chunk over a lot of money. You get a brand new shoe deal. You get endorsements. I mean, when you get that kind of money and, you're young and, you like to have a good time, you unfortunately end up in situations like that. So,
but you know what bothers my mind, like you said, young, it goes back to how a person's raised,
right.
And not to put him down and not to put down his family and things like that, and not to disrespect the man. But you're in the NBA. That's when I guarantee you talk to him in the interview, he'll say that's one of his childhood dreams he ever has growing up. Probably idol Michael Jordan or even somebody else in the league coming up in our day. Now look at him. Now that he made it, he accomplished one of his dreams, his big time dreams. Now I don't think he ever saw himself in a situation like this. So what you think about that? What you think about that?
No. I don't think he was. Probably when he actually did the video and it came out, I'm pretty sure he thought it was still harmless.
Right.
Even when the incident, I don't think he thought it was going to have the backlash it did. I mean, at first they said it was a 2-game suspension. Just the coach intervened and said no, he's out indefinitely. So I don't think he could thought that was going to be the outcome of it. I think he was just, he's active on social media anyways.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know if you've seen any of his other videos. He'll be out in his mansion, showing his friends, putting the phone out, showing the flashy kind of lifestyles, got jewelry on, diamonds, and that young stuff that's harmless, but being on social media, that's what you see all the time. So you become a part of that, and Ja's like that. But you got to understand, somebody got to be in his ear a little bit more. To tell them, hey, you can't jeopardize your career like that because they definitely can make an example of you. So.
Well, I agree with you so heavy-heartedly, man, because having the opportunity, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, shall we? The opportunity, as a young black male, colored male, however you want to identify himself with, what color, what race, to have this opportunity to be a role model that we used to say back in the day. You remember that? Role model? And then have this much heat on you, have this much trouble and attention, and so much apologies, in the social media, Twitter and the Instagrams on your account. It doesn't save face for you all the time. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And right. If you're constantly in this image, check this out. I remember when he came to the league, he was nothing but a talk of the town. Nothing but a talk of the town. He's joking over everybody. He's just doing things that you're like, man, this young man is trying to show himself out there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we know we make mistakes. We do things that gets us in a light that we didn't want to be. And to me, I am a firm believer of benefit of growth and faith versus doubt, because that makes no sense. Benefit of doubt. I give him benefit of faith. I know he'll turn things around. But I think this is where he got too prideful or too pig-headed. The ego got big, right? And now pride comes before the fall. And now he comes to fall, bam. I think he's really, really understanding now that, look, while you got a platform like this or in the limelight, is what they say, you got to be careful what you do because someone's always watching you. Some paparazzi is always out there catching something. Somebody videotaping something, and I think he has to be careful about that. So what you think about that?
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. You know, it's always eyes on you. And the bigger name that you start buzzing around, you know, the more eyes is going to be on you. And he made that known that he wanted the eyes on him, you know, from day one coming in.
Day one.
Yeah. It's something that he's going to have to learn. I'm pretty sure, you know, he's going to have a still successful career. You know, like I said, kids love him, but he does have to take that into consideration a little more. Be a better, you know, like you said, role model, as we used to say. Just be mindful who's watching. You know, you're going to have audience, but, you know, you got younger viewers too, you know, bunch of kids, just like Steph Curry. When he came to the lead, I mean, he spread across every little kid thought, oh my gosh, I can be in the NBA if I can shoot. So yeah, man, they're celebrities to not only their favorite celebrities and friends, but also to the youth. So yeah.
That is so true because right now NBA players, they have to understand that they're being watched. They're the main figures of what young adults, young teenagers want to be like. Especially they're ballers. They like to play basketball. They like to do certain things, you know, to show themselves and their skill set in basketball. So they're always going to have a role model, someone they look up to mimic, mirror, like you said, their game by. And now it's that Ja has a lot of teenagers and people trying to mimic his game.
Oh yeah.
And right now with him being where he's at, man, I don't know, man. I'm just like, oh my God, you know, will this wake him up? Will this give him a sense of, hey, you know, I messed up. Okay. And people always going to use this cliche, I'm only human, right? And since I'm only human, I'm going to make mistakes. I say this. I say from LG perspective, this is just me. This is what I say. Okay. You know, how many people you have to watch first to make so many mistakes for you to come back behind them, especially ones with platforms, to do the exact same thing? How many times we have to do that? How many times we got hit over the head to be woken up from this type of situation?
All right. Yeah. But
So,
again, in that light, you know, that life is a fast life too. So, you know, just living out there, if you don't have the veterans, if you don't have the people that you need, you know, around you to kind of give you that guidance, I mean, that just falls short. You know, that's why real good GMs, real good coaches, they make sure they got at least one or two good veterans on their, you know, roster. So the morale of the, you know, easily if we had some of the old school veterans, they would have pulled Ja out the club. They would have known that he had something on him and been like, no, you're the face of this franchise. No, you get home. You hand me that, you get on home. You know, that's what old school veterans used to do. I know the Memphis Grizzlies, they consist of a lot of young players. They don't really have veterans in the locker room, but stuff like this shows, you know.
It does show. It does show. And you hit a good point. I keep saying back in our day, we so old. But
let's say that, yeah, just a generation before the new generation.
Exactly. Thank you for
pre-generational. Yeah.
Pre-generational.
Yeah.
Okay. We had that wisdom. We had those that thought like that. We had role models. We considered role models. And I don't know what happened to these role models. What happened to the standard of being a role model when you have a platform the way that you do? For instance, we know Michael Jordan. I'm be honest. He just the main one that people will come and analyze and have the main focus, right, of role model status. And I'm like, okay, he really was a role model. You know, was he really a role model? But compared to his era versus Ja era, the young folk era, the millennial era, that's what I call him.
Yeah.
So compared to that era to Michael's era, those that grew up to see Mike, we saw him from the beginning of his career to the end. Right. Yes, he had a lot of hiccups. Yes, he lost his father, supposedly on gambling, you know, rumors, hint, right? So, which I do not believe to this day. And so look, not to get off topic here, but the thing is, The thing is, though, was he really a role model? Was Michael the best example for the young ballers?
Well, the thing is, especially being a Chicago Bull fan, see, Mike. Mike was a smart businessman, as we all know. He let it be known he's not trying to be a role model.
Right.
He let it be known that he's a competitor. Now, everybody loves a good competitor, especially in a sport, and he happened to be one of the top competitors in that sport.
Okay.
So when you got NBA, that's at the time kind of a mediocre sport because, you had your Magic, your Birds, but other than that, NBA could go either way,
It can.
You got a young guy comes in, fresh, top competitor. From far as is not a bunch of tattoos, not a bunch of jewelry, not crazy where you just gotta be worried about him. They looked at him and said, "This one, super marketable, and this gonna be the next generation going forward." So, I mean,
well, the name.
Do you need to be a role model if you got an organization that's already backing you and saying we're putting everything into you? You just have to be what they need you to be. Just don't be out of line of that, and that's it.
Okay, so
that's what Mike.
Okay, I like that. So what's the difference between Michael and Maxwell?
He said between Michael and Maxwell.
Yeah, I mean the same standard had a hit for them as well. And then, but Maxwell, had his issues, but still people looked at him. They still remember his game after him too. Maxwell's a great guy, great ball player.
Yeah, but
what's the difference? What was the difference? Because you got Mike, everything you just said about Mike. So what was the difference with Maxwell, man?
Look, everything I said about Mike, being a top competitor. Look, you can say what you want, but you can bet against Mike. You're gonna put your foot in your mouth most of the nights. That's the difference. He backed it up. I'm not saying Maxwell wasn't that tight, but there are times where you can look at Maxwell's game and say, "Man, this night he could have went there and that." There's not a single game I ever seen Mike saying, "Man, he could have did this, could have went extra." It's just the competitiveness. He's not going home a loser unless you beat him. And that's what they pretty much did. They drug him. They threw him around, tossed him around. But that's down the line.
That's down the line. Yes, it is down the line because I understand. Let me see. Give me a second. My bad.
Oh, you good?
Because he was. I guarantee you, he was the reason for the season. And when we say the reason for the season, the things that Michael did. And the thing he wanted to do, right? Mike had to realize one thing. He had great ball players around him. But Ja has great teammates around him too. But now the accusations of gun charges, accusations of hitting a team playing ball, we as like the people looking in from outside in, this is just what the media, I don't trust the media anyway. And yes, I just said that on my podcast. I don't trust none of the media. So the thing is, they are all designed to give and project fear. Because most of his lies anyway. I said that. So now to see the story about Ja, we got was a little apology here, right? He spoke here and there, but not really saying I didn't do it or I plead the fifth. So we didn't hear all that. We see him try to apologize, but his apologies was a little bit dry. You get what I'm saying? So it's dry, man, and it wasn't that full. I have confidence in what you're saying, but I know, like I said, I give people benefit of faith. If he admit to it, if you read the tweet, it says that he's owning up to it. This is where he owned up to it, and I said, okay, he's owning up to it.
Yeah, kind of like a my bad, but it's not that big of a deal.
It was not big of a deal. Yeah. So,
my bad.
Yeah, my bad. But he's suspended for at least 4 games. He's already suspended for 2. Now it's been increased because it says the last charge with the gun, him on Instagram. That's
that's the one.
That, yeah. Exactly. That's the one that's going to potentially kick him in the hind parts. That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
yeah.
The state
I mean, we probably wouldn't be talking about him if he didn't flash that. It would just been a night, regular crazy night for an athlete, a young athlete. You know, that's typical. You know, he's not the only person who goes out and do that. He just so happened to be a big name, got caught on stupidly, kind of put it on. I'm sorry, it's not a smart decision to do that, but
because it's not a smart decision because he's the African American descent, the color persuasion, you know, minority, what we want to call us, put titles on us. He represents our culture, okay, the culture. All right. So now that he represents the culture and he's in the NBA now, I don't know about you, but my perspective now, me seeing young men in the NBA getting the money, living their life, I got it. It's their dream. They have a certain responsibility. And I do say that with not caution. I say that with honesty and respect all the colored, you know, NBA players out there. You know, I hate to use the word black because black is, these are the screen, that's black, you know. But anyway, this is what I'm saying. They have responsibility. And when I say responsibility, because we already start stereotype as it is. It don't matter what we do. It don't matter how the culture do and what we say. You know, we're going to be labeled as this and that regardless. It makes sense. They can't do good. Look at the white culture. Look at the Jewish culture. But the colored culture cannot get it together. And the thing is, when we see young men like Ja, we see young men. He's not the only one. We're not the only one, but he's the main subject of the topic because he's the one they're talking about 24/7. They won't drop the story. So First Take ESPN is going to ride it to next week, and he never had to say anything positive about the young man as much as I have heard. It's just about we got a responsibility. I do believe he has a responsibility as a young male athlete, a colored athlete that's in the game of the NBA. He has a responsibility to show himself that he is an NBA player, and he has a responsibility and for his family and the organization that he represents that he's played with, right? So now going forward, I think Ja needs to really think about the next thing that he do, because he's on a tight leash and he's been watched, a small microscope. Which give me your thoughts about that.
No. You're right. You're hitting it right on the head. I mean, it's really in his situation, the only thing that he can do at this point is not really say too much.
Mm-hmm.
Get back in, really support his team, which it was the other night ago. The Grizzlies was playing the Warriors.
Right.
Grizzlies happened to win. He was suspended, but after that he called his team, just to congratulate them, because that's kind of like a rivalry out there in the West. So, I mean, things like that. I mean, as long as he do that, I think with the image there, because I mean, he got every little kid out there dancing and doing the little gritty dance. I mean, the influence as far as what the NBA capitalize on, could be big enough for him to kind of get there. I don't know, because I'm thinking about it's a gun involved. That's around.
That's very serious. That's a felony charge.
That's the only little thing. It's just the gun involved. Because really, I have no issue with nothing else he did. It's really no remorse. Like how they're trying to drag him on the media is unnecessary. I mean, other than flashing a gun, which, like I said, I'm not sure where he was at. I don't know if it's. I mean, clearly, the legal issues or whatever was going on. It was a bad decision at the time.
Yeah.
But other than that, there was nothing that he wasn't doing that was wrong. Nothing.
So nothing he doing was wrong. So besides the gun
all I've seen, I mean, which is extremely bad, but
it's bad for y'all.
I mean, can you tell me anything else he did other than after he flashed a gun? What else we seen? He just in the club? What else?
There's accusations that he pushed the team down during the pickup game.
No, that's a separate incident though.
Well, that's added to the resume though. So You know, the resume is still there. It's still there. So, but
and they
anything
pulled
else,
that up because, once again, he had a gun. They had to dig. You know, other than that, he would have been out probably too late or anything else, and they would have just said, "Go back to your house, man. Go back to the hotel, wherever that." Because they were in. Matter of fact, they were in Denver.
right?
That's where they were after a game. Bad idea. You're not even in your hometown. You're not even a home game.
Denver,
Bad
of all
idea.
places. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went.
Damn. Yeah, man.
No hoods in Denver. If there hoods in
Just
Denver,
slide on down to Houston, Texas, man. You could have visited down here. It might have been A-okay.
yeah.
You probably had 2 or 3 people with guns with you, you know.
But that's another thing. Why try to be, you know, the image of what the terminology they called street thugs is funny to me. Why try to be a representation of that, you know, and you're not that anymore? It's like someone rapping back in the day, the hood, and then you made it out the hood, you're making multi-million-dollar dollars, you know, you're buying this and that. And all of a sudden now you're still talking about the same thing that you do not do anymore. So why have that same type of what's that stench, that aroma behind you? And instead of you trying to be down with the boys in the culture or your neighborhood or who's down with you, you know, I tell you what, when you go to another level around that job went, and especially playing the NBA, guess what? I'm no longer a hood dude. I'm no longer that guy representing the streets. Yes, I might dip and dabble in the streets, but that is not me anymore. So I'm making millions of dollars. I am the star of my team. I'm helping my team to stay contention for a championship ring. And you're telling me that I have to be hood, I have a hood persona to still be called down or black, whatever, and then still, you know, be who I am and don't compromise. You can still be who you are, but you have to change to a point that you're not who you are. Now be who you are, but you don't have to portray something that you don't do no more. Now you used to do it in the streets, sell drugs. Okay, got it. You know, they call it thug. I don't call it thug. I just call it, you know, ignorant. You know, you just don't have enough knowledge to get back on your feet or understand how to get out the game. I'm not, you know, I know people like, man, what are you talking about? I'm saying it like this. This is what I'm trying to say. You know, you don't have to portray something that you was in. When you get out of something that you was in and that made your life better, it's time to go up instead of go back down. And this is one of those things that he was up. Now it's time to humble himself to get back to that place he was. That's all. That's how I see it. That makes sense. Because right now, I'm not gonna portray something that I don't do no more. Now I'm real. Don't get me wrong. I consider myself a real cat now. Not meow, but real. You know, the slang terminology. But at the same time, though, I'm not gonna compromise my integrity or compromise anything for me to be some persona for somebody else. Basically, I'm not gonna be a man pleaser or a hood pleaser or a childhood pleaser. Because I have the wrong friends. Now think about this. Was he hanging around the wrong people at the time when the gun incident, while he was on Instagram showing the gun, was it hanging around the wrong people or so per se? You know what I'm saying? Talk to me about it. What you think about it?
No, I'm glad you brought that up because that's the question I was going to ask you. I was like, if you took yourself, let's say you're young, 23, 24, 25-year-old.
Right.
You're used to growing up with, again, your group of people, the people you know, they're in the streets here, they're, you know, doing what they do. You make it into the NBA, you kind of get to a certain status.
Right.
Clearly, obviously, we know the term, you can't take them all. We can't bring them all here. You can't save them all. So you being a young 23, 24, are you willing to kind of clean up your image all the way and lose some of your credibility with the people you're around? Are you willing to kind of lose those people for your image? Now, any smart, wise, older, you know, you're thinking, okay, you're going to lose money. You lose endorsements. You're thinking about that. But as a 22, 23, 24-year-old, are you really thinking about that? Or are you at the moment you're saying, man, I got to be down with the people that's around me. I got to be part of the crew. You know, I can't let them down. I got to be. I mean, that's their young mind. I mean, I can speak for myself. I've done many of things that's stupid for my friends, and just to not to be down or trying to be something, but just to show that, hey, the loyalty that you guys show me, I'm loyal to y'all too. What you ride with, I ride with. It's a concept that you do, but when you got real good friends, they're the ones that say, hey, I understand what you're trying to do, but no, you're that one. We need to get you out of there. And he probably doesn't have that many those friends that, hey, not you. Hey, we can go on somewhere else, but hey, we ain't doing this. Hey, give me that. I'll hold this tonight. I'll be right next to you, dog. Hey, we ain't gonna jeopardize, what you're looking for. But a lot of young kids, I know they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about more so, hey, I ain't gonna lose the relationship with the people, that's saying they hold me down. People I grew up with. I'm not really know what's that.
That's so profound. But we're gonna get our sponsor into this just for a few seconds, then we get back to the topic. Oh, HelloFresh. As you see right down the bottom, HelloFresh.com, promo code POGHF95334. Please go and get your free box, 65% off, free shipping. And
HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit delivery service and health meal plan. Meal kits that range from wide ranges of receipts. 16 free HelloFresh meals across 9 boxes, and first box ships free. Use my promo code POG95334 for 65% off your first box. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Yes, sir. HelloFresh. Go get your box.
Not gonna lie, I might have to try that on the back end. It's like some pretty good food items.
Yes, sir. Hey, anything to support, man. Hey, I heard it was great too. I'm going to try it soon myself. I'm trying this thing out. But back to the topic, man of God. So the thing is, the friends. Okay, we're going to have those friends going to be friends. We're going to have the friends that's not going to be friends. We're going to have friends that's going to say, hey, man, you down with the cause, man. Stay black, stay hood, stay whatever. Then you're going to have some friends like, man, you're not in the hood no more. It's time for you to not to be fake or be a man pleaser, but it's time for you to elevate your mindset. But that it's a good topic. I think we hit some good points with about the NBA and everything else. But now we're gonna switch to the NFL because we have to, brother. We have to.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I'm telling you right now, some big things happen in the NFL, man. And I'm telling you right now, my boy DJ Moore. Oh my God. DJ, Carolina had to make moves, man. See, I support the Bears. I grew up the Bears, and when Carolina got the Panthers, as you know my story, I rock with. I support the Carolina. Cam Newton will forever be my quarterback. But my #1 receiver was Steve Smith. Steve Smith was my guy. Steve Smith was the man. Steve Smith was my favorite receiver, Musa Muhammad, and all the receivers before then that came and passed. Steve Smith stood out, and he's still my favorite receiver from Carolina. Yeah, but there has not been a #1 receiver since Steve Smith until this man right here, DJ Moore. And when DJ Moore came on the Carolina Panthers, he sparked them, he elevated them, and he became the #1 threat. And he is the closest thing to Steve Smith that we have ever had in any receiver on the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
But my God, the boy is gone. Oh no.
Yeah.
Carolina had to make some great moves. They made some moves, man. Don't get me wrong. The new coaching staff, man. They made some moves, man. But the good thing, they connected with my other team that I support, which is Chicago, and the young Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And now Justin Fields has his true #1 receiver. And they got the seventh, and whatever pick in the draft next month to sew up that team to be a dynasty, to be some type of machine going forward with that young quarterback. And he wears the #1 as Cam Newton wears. And it's funny that he's one of Cam Newton's proteges growing up in the 7-on-7 league. Come on, man. Better. It's like now Carolina and Chicago always flip-flop players. You do what I'm saying? So now the big trade, we already knew was coming. I talked to my soldiers. I talked to them. Those that love talk about football. We knew it was coming. We know Chicago ain't going to get rid of Justin Fields. That's what he did. Regardless of the record, but what he did in his performance on the field. All of a sudden now they make big moves to secure and trade for the number one, and they had to sacrifice something big just to get the number one pick. And you know they're going quarterback. Give me your thoughts, man. Come on, you're Chicago. I know you're a Bears fan, or you're
no, not a Bears fan. Though. We're just gonna stick with the Bulls on the Chicago side. Bears fans, I can almost care less. I used to like the Bears defense, but that's about it.
But give me your insight on that. That was a great move, was a powerful move, was a great chess piece move. Get the queen, the king. Tell me.
I mean, I know as much as that hurt you.
It hurt, man. It hurt.
I would feel the pain too, as my team, the Patriots, are going through their growing pains.
That's right. You're a Patriot.
We're not talking about that. but man, but that's definitely a big step for them.
Man.
Yeah, Chicago's doing what they're supposed to do. They understand that Justin Fields is another generational quarterback, and they got to surround them with weapons, man. They got one of the top ones they can get for sure. They didn't spare no expense. It's going to be a dangerous thing with Mora down there, man.
It is, man. It's going to be so dangerous to a point where, you know, he was trying to do something last year with the core receivers he had. Now, people are like, oh, you're a fan. Name some of the players. I just watched because my take on NFL. NFL is rigged from day one to day two. You know, I just watch it.
It's getting tougher.
It is, man. You can't deny it no more. And if your team is going, your team is need to buy the championship versus anything else. So, you know, after this past Super Bowl and this past season, man, I'm just gonna be a football fan and watch key matchups and stuff like that. But I digress. That's a soapbox, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But just for player perspective, this young man right here, DJ Moore, man, it hurt, man. When I seen that trade, I love being surprised and I love history in the making, right? And I love things making history. When I saw this trade, I mean, Carolina making the first waves in the offseason, big time. You know, the draft is the next month. And all of a sudden, you trade your number one weapon just to secure the number one, draft pick because you want a quarterback, a young quarterback, a diverse quarterback, a dynamic quarterback, a triple threat, a double threat quarterback that's coming in this new class of quarterbacks. And I'm wondering who they're going to pick number one. Who do you think they're going to take number one as the league?
Ooh, I don't know. I really don't know because I know you said NFL's rigged at a certain point, and this is probably just being biased because Alabama won so many championships. I started thinking college games is rigged, so
it is.
I really stopped really paying too much attention. But I know there are three really, really good top quarterbacks in the draft. I can't think of their names off top, but I were looking at their combines and they were talking about them earlier. But there are three top ones that I know they couldn't go wrong picking either one.
Oh, man, I don't know, man. I just say this, man. It's great quarterback, CJ, Sproul, and all the Alabama quarterback. You know, you want names and stitches. I'm not going to give it to you. I just know when we're watching college, like you say, all the sports are rigged. Yeah, I do believe that. I don't care what people say or watching.
I mean, Alabama was too many. That was too many.
It's too many. It was overkill. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And, it's just like the Patriots. Patriots had a run. And you're a Patriots fan, so
again, I can't deny that we had our run, we had our full, but then I got to a point where I was like, okay, this may be a little much, but I get it, I guess.
It's a little much,
yeah.
But understand that the face of the NFL was in your house. That was Tom Brady, one. Then the coach, Bill Belichick. Okay. So then now you just recently had a player that just retired, three-time NFL champion, Devin, Mick Cordy? That's how you say his last name?
McCourty. Mm-hmm.
So he just retired after 13 seasons, something like that. And he was a force to be reckoned with. And so, I always see Bill Belichick's Patriots team as a blueprint for everything. And so when the teams want to mimic his success, you have to get dynamic players. But the thing is, sometimes when you get depth always doesn't help out the team to win championships. Case in point, the Eagles. The Eagles had so much depth on their team. They went out and got all these acquisitions during the season, not off season, not after the season, during the season, when I'm thinking like, man, these boys got to win the Super Bowl. But I digress again. They were the hype team. They were the hype team. And I say, look, somebody, Chief, let's say Patrick Mahomes, they was going to give it to him. Come on, man. When I say give it to him, they really gave it to him. It was a great Super Bowl, man. Shut up.
Oh, no, yeah.
The Super Bowl was rigged from the first hour, from day one, playing out the NFL season, 2022-23 season to the Super Bowl. It was terrible. And then what really grind my gears, Peter Griffin, hint, Trayvon. Look, when they put the stat out, when they won, and they gave him the Super Bowl MVP, then they put a stat, the first quarterback since Kurt Warner to win the Super Bowl MVP during the season, and MVP during the season and Super Bowl MVP of the Super Bowl. I'm like, that's not true, because Aaron Rodgers was the last one. And then soon that stat came out, you went on Google immediately. That's what I did. I went on Google immediately to see that stat. They shifted everything to the left. And I'm like, every time I look at Aaron Rodgers MVP Super Bowl, it always come up. Now that I look at it now, people will say you lying, because I just looked it up on Google and he was MVP in 2011, not 10. No, he was MVP 2010, 2011 season. But it changed all the stats to the point you're like, where's that stat that I've been speaking about for the last 8 years? It's just gone. It's just everything's been shifted. You know what I'm saying? That's why I know everything is rigged, dude, because I'm like, where's that stat at? Why Patrick Mahomes is the first MVP of the season, MVP Super Bowl quarterback since Kurt Warner since 1999? That's not true. It was Aaron Rodgers. You look at on Google right now, totally different stats. It'll say something totally different. And I'm like, how can you go back and change stuff like that? You talk to me about that, bro. This is where I get kind of like, ugh, when it comes to the NFL. Because it's go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm gonna get my soapbox, man.
Nah, you got every right. Best way to simply put, you're right. I mean, you got to follow the script some kind of way. I mean, they got to keep it. Doesn't matter if they got to hurt a player, if somebody got to go down, if some kind of controversy on the team got to happen, whatever got to happen to stick to the script, man. They got to stick to the script.
Patrick Mahomes,
he
got a high ankle sprain for 2 weeks. Got re-injured his high ankle sprain in the Super Bowl. All of a sudden, he did what Michael Jordan could do. He's one of the great ones. I'm like, oh my God, did you just add that to his legacy?
Well, yeah.
You just put down this man's legacy? This man ain't hurt. This man played the whole game. He played the whole entire 3 hours.
Really, with the level of ankle sprain they said it was, no way. I already knew once he sprint down the field, scrambling at the last bit when he see that, I was like, you can't run on your ankle like that. You can't. If your ankle's hurting as that bad as it's supposed to be, and you already played 3 quarters of this.
Yes.
Ain't no way in the 4th quarter you got anything on that ankle to shoot down like that.
Come on, man.
No way. I was like, I can't believe it. Got to be something. You can't take a shot, nothing like that to outrun everybody. You just pew.
A high, like you said, like you just said, a high ankle sprain goes all the way up to the fibula. If I'm saying it right. Now, if you had a high ankle sprain, that would have affected your calves, your shins, and your ankles. Okay, you won't be able. You'd be so stiff, you won't be able to move. Now, the first Super Bowl, he had the exact same thing. That he went against Tom Brady. So then he lost out, but he tried his best. Now, that was the best to me. That was one of his best performances.
Oh yeah.
Now, go to this Super Bowl. They was hardly on the field. And you tell me the last 8 minutes of the game, the Eagles blown 2 coverage assignments for them to score back-to-back to win the doggone game? No, sir. I don't accept that. I don't. The Eagles should have won. Look, put it away. We knew what look. I know script when I see it. You know, that's what I'm into. I write scripts for a living. Okay, stories. I know plots. It's like the WWE. It's the NFL. Maybe all the sports. I don't know about soccer though. Soccer is kind of hard you can throw points and do stuff a lot in soccer too. I don't know. No matter of fact, I put soccer in that category too because we talked about it already.
You got to.
So you got to. So everything
almost anything you can put money on, you can almost.
That's it. That money, that greenback. And so watching the NBA season last year, especially we talking football. Let's stay in the NFL. The state of the NFL. The NFL has been exposed in a lot of things. The owners are going against each other. They don't understand that the players are coming out one way or the other. And then all of a sudden, they think that the people are still naive and ignorant and not seeing this stuff. Now, let's talk about Lamar Jackson, okay? This is the state of the NFL, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Now, this is all I heard for all the coming weeks, right? Lamar Jackson is now franchise tagged, okay?
Right.
There's no market for him. And I'm in 14 minutes within the franchise tagging of this young man. All of a sudden, there's nobody that wanted him. Miami didn't jump on him. The Jets didn't jump on him. The Falcons, which is quarterback needy right now, did not jump on this young man. So immediately, people, especially at our job, say it's racism. There's racism, and because he's black, he's dark skinned, but no, I understand what Baltimore is doing with Lamar. Lamar doesn't have an agent. Now, not having an agent, how does that impact Lamar? I want to hear your perspective on that.
Not having an agent?
And not having an agent because his mother is pretty much his liaison between,
and even then, he still makes the final decision. So you're right. He's like agentless. Well, I mean, I'll put it in about the simplest form, or simplest way I can kind of put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this is kind of how I see it. But let's say you enter a business,
right, that
you haven't really done business with.
Okay.
This business have existed for over 40 years, 50 years or so. You come into this business, you want to represent yourself. You're going to represent yourself against a bunch of billionaires who've all been in this business since basically it started.
Right.
So, I mean, if you feel confident enough that you got negotiating powers with just your talent alone to go in there, which I give him credit because he has that much talent to be talentless or to be actually sitting out for the last few seasons.
Right.
And still get a franchise tag. I mean, obviously sitting out and voicing how he feels about it and feeling like the organization will have his back. I think that probably did a little bit to that.
He's not saying that. That's the
point. But you can. He's saying it without saying it.
Well, but look at this. I like what Keyshawn Johnson said. Okay, he's been in the league. He knows business sense. He knows contract negotiation between organizations of the NFL. And I like his take on it. And I like what he said. He said that Lamar is in a good place. And I had to hear what he had to say. Because the thing that really the real topic is not the franchise tag. The real topic is not having a market for this man. But back to Keyshawn. Keyshawn said he's in a good place because they've been negotiating something for 2 years now. It's not what to Lamar's liking. See, they offered this man $133 million already, right?
Yeah.
Who would turn that down? But the reason why he turned it down, and this is by reports, none of it is guaranteed. That's why he's turning these deals down because it's not guaranteed. Now they will make the big issue that he doesn't have an agent, he doesn't have representation, and the agents are nothing about liaisons between the owner, the GM, and the player. So his mother been doing a great job with him since he's been in the league. Now he's turned down negotiations because it's not guaranteed. That is the reason why he hasn't have a deal yet. It's not that Baltimore is not willing to make him the starter in the future of their franchise. this is just by reports and other people perspectives from the analysts on these talk shows, sports show hosts, that he's in a good place. And hearing Keyshawn and how he broke it down, I agree what Keyshawn Johnson said. He's in a good place. It's no rush. They got to now before OTAs in the beginning of the season to get a deal. But as you can see, the tag just got on the young man. But my problem with the situation, that no one jumped on him. No one took advantage of to get this young man immediately when he got franchise tag. That gives him the rights to seek other teams. I know eventually, let's say someone did, let's say the Jets did jump on Lamar Jackson. The Baltimore going to try to either match it or supersede it to keep him on the team. Lamar Jackson probably knows that. So the thing, and the organization probably knows that. So to have no one there day one to say, oh, Lamar Jackson free, let's get him. That didn't sit well with me. 14 minutes in the franchise tag, you got teams like, no, we're not interested. 14 minutes in. You even get this man a month, 2 weeks, or a day. 14 minutes in, and you tell me people like Atlanta don't need a quarterback. After Marcus Morata just left. He just left. Just quit the team. You bench me, I'm gone. Well, so who's going to be your quarterback of the future for Atlanta? So Lamar Jackson is in a good place to me. Now, the other speculations, being hurt for the last 2 seasons, not playing many games that he's supposed to be playing and stuff like that, I understand all that. So that's a factor. What you think about that? That's a big factor, man. That's
the biggest factor. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to piggyback on. That's the biggest factor. It's just, I think franchises getting to that point. Hey, we're not just going to fork out and throw money and have somebody sit on the bench and not play.
That's true.
4 or 5 years. I mean, yeah, we're billionaires, but NFL, you can take your chances. Like I said, you can just go into the draft. There's plenty of quarterbacks coming out there. Might as well leave a franchise to pay it, because if somebody would have offered them and the franchise came and matched it anyways, I mean, then what? I mean, now okay, we're throwing what out there. Now he's able to make the negotiation. So it actually, in that sense, is really good for his business, him and his mom, because now they're creating another market. That's why probably a lot of these teams are keeping their mouth shut right now. Now you're going to create a market for probably one of the most. They're trying to get the most market out of this young man.
The most market.
They're trying to. Because, I mean, other than Patrick Mahomes, the only other generational quarterback that we were talking about when they were coming to that class was Lamar Jackson.
It was Lamar Jackson. Yes, it was.
Those are the two. It was Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. It was those two. They were going to be the new ranks going back and forth. We're going to see them in the Super Bowls and the playoffs for years to come.
That's a good point. That's a good point, sir. That is a good point. That's a good point because – we'll keep doing this. My bad. Background.
Oh, you good.
That's a good point, sir. That is a good point. You know why it's a good point? It was only 3 quarterbacks, young quarterbacks talked about throughout the whole entire AFC, NFL, whatever. You name them: Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. Those are only 3 that was so prolific and talked about the whole time. Now you got Joe Burrow, you got Justin Herbert, you got all these young cats coming up. Now, from number 3 behind those 2, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, now you're about number 6 or 7 down the list. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm like, how did he get to that point? He's been playing lights out. Now let's go for the season before this season when he was complaining. Well, he wasn't complaining. He was venting about not having a receiver core. Now he didn't have a receiver core, but he was all the offense they had, and he had COVID twice. Cramp, he just went down, man. So he was the offense. He had nobody really to throw to besides Hollywood Brown, and they immediately traded him the next following season.
Yeah.
So the thing is, that's all of the names you can remember. And the thing is, he was the offense. His offensive line wasn't holding up then, and he was getting injured. I see why he was getting injured because he had to run. It reminds you of a Mike Vick situation with Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to be personally honest. When he was Atlanta Falcon, Mike Vick, he did not know how to read defenses. He did not know how to read defenses. That's why he stayed running. Michael Vick did not know how to read defense until he got to Philadelphia behind Donovan McNabb. And Don McNabb told him how to read defenses, and that's why he replaced him in. Right. Okay? So that's just facts. So now Lamar Jackson could read defenses. His quarterback IQ is pretty high. His quarterback awareness is very high. His evasiveness is very high too. He knows how to feel for the DE coming behind him on the side. Exactly. So now, how he go from the number 3 young quarterback behind Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, to now maybe the number 6, number 7 young quarterback in the AFC, which they were saying that he was about to take over. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he's not on the field.
He's not on the field.
When you're not on the field, you just can't. If I'm seeing these other quarterbacks succeed and it seems like they're leading their franchise, and when we talk about your franchise, we're looking at you in regular clothes on the side, I can't really assess that you're in these top categories. I mean, not to say we can look at your numbers and compare. We definitely can do that. Anybody with the eye test seen before you got injured, we know what you're capable of. But, NFL is becoming a what have you done for me lately type league. So with these quarterbacks coming up, since there's so many more than 1 or 2 or 3, now, like you said, 4, 5, 6 and counting, we still got some young ones. You can't count out, young quarterback from the 49ers. Third string,
Brock Purdy?
Yeah, Brock Purdy. So it's there. And we got a lot more coming in the draft. So quarterbacks are coming kind of a handful. You can just pick them, kind of like running backs usually be in drafts in years. So
that's true, because right now I really believe that at the same time we're talking about, right? What we're really talking about is this. We're talking about something that's going to happen for the years to come. You're going to have more quarterbacks coming out, and it's going to be even more prolific and even more on a spectrum, to a point where they're going to replace the normal way of playing their positions anyway, especially the quarterback position. The wide receivers are getting faster. They're getting smarter, more educated in their game, in the routes. They're more slick. Even defensive personnel, strong safety. I think strong safety and free safety are the only ones that's struggling in the NBA right now, versus the new DBs that are coming out, the defensive players that's coming out and adapting quicker than normal. So I know the game changes as well. The game changes more for offensive and defensive. But when you have a defensive team like the 49ers now, that really, when they play the Eagles, and then you tell me that the NFL rule, let's talk about this. Only 2 quarterbacks on the roster versus 3. That's stupid, man. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Talk to me about that. That's dumb. It's real stupid.
Yeah, that don't make sense to me. Like,
none.
That zero. If that's the case, Tom Brady would never got his chance.
Exactly.
Tom Brady was at one point the 4th option on the Patriots coming in his rookie season. No, a lot of people didn't know that. So I mean, yeah, that 0 sense to me. But I mean, convenient though.
Say it again.
I said it ended up being convenient, for the opposite team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you watched it. It was convenient because Justin Hurts was still hurt. His shoulder was still jacked up. So instead of him throwing 20, 15, 17 times, when Purdy went down, Josh Johnson went in there and went down, Purdy came back in, and all they could do is run the ball. They tried to make Christian McCaffrey a quarterback. And then when I saw that, I knew the game was over when Purdy went down. So I was like, over, because it's all red. So when he went down, I'm like, you just put a handbasket to the Eagles, say, hey, you're going to Super Bowl because we need someone. What's the tagline? 2 African-American quarterbacks to go against each other in February in Black History Month, which was a sham. It was stupid. And then not only you have those two brothers, now you're having 2 real life brothers, and Travis Kelce and his brother. So I'm like, so which one the story about? Is it about Patrick Mahomes and going against Justin Hurts, or Travis Kelce going against his brother? And so that's the propaganda of the game. And to see the best playoff game that happened this during the postseason was the 49ers and the Cowboys. I don't care what nobody say. No other playoff game, the Bengals, and I picked this. I used to have an algorithm for the NFL. Mm-hmm. It should be three years on, 3 years off. 3 years AFC wins, then the next 3 years NFC wins. But then that changed when Tom Brady and the Patriots won in between, the Eagles winning, Tom Brady winning before he went to Tampa Bay. Then when he went to Tampa Bay, all of a sudden now it just changed the whole algorithm I had, okay? So now seeing that, going through that and being wrong for the last few years, I just stopped and just like forget it, because it's already scripted and rigged. It's like college football. We know who we want to go. We know who we want to be in the dance. It's already scripted from right. If they let them play from there's been a few seasons that let them play from week 1 to week 8. Once week 8 happened, after week 8, that's it. That's when all the dumb stuff. Yeah. So if they let them play, it's only been a few seasons that let them play to separate themselves. So going back to this, the rule for having 2 quarterbacks on the field cost the 49ers another trip to the Super Bowl. Okay, then 2, Justin Hurts was not fully healthy in the Super Bowl. He did all that running. He did all what he couldn't do at a certain pain tolerance, as you can see. And then that fumble he dropped was so suspect that you're like, hold up, man. You dropped the fumble. They got a touchdown. They tied the game, and you still were better than that. The mistakes you made in interception, you still outscored the Chiefs. Yeah. At a certain point, you outplayed the Chiefs, and then you end up losing the game. Come on, man. You can make it up, but you know what? We ran into overtime on this topic. Let's go to the next topic.
Yeah, because we know they got to stick to the script.
Stick to the script. NFL, yes, America. All sports are red. Look at the point spread. Look at the betting. Look at the little plus minus and on these games. It's red. Next topic, please. Oh, you know where we're going with this. Oh yeah, Hollywood. What is going on in this town? Talk to me, sir. I'll give me some water. Talk to me, man.
I mean, what can we say about? Well, really, probably we shouldn't be able to say anything about Hollywood. Dangerous.
Very dangerous. First of all, Hollywood. Matter of fact, Hollywood. Let me do something real quick. Let me raise that up. There you go. Hollywood. Right now, we know what's consistent in Hollywood. We know the Universal, the Disneys, the Paramounts, the MGMs, and everything. Let's talk about Pacific Studio. Marvel. What in the world is going on, brother? Talk to me, man. I want to hear somebody's perspective about the
Marvel.
The MCU. What is going on with MCU?
It's funny. It's actually funny that you said Marvel because I was just looking over this interview they were doing about Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. When Michael Jackson was looking into purchasing a bunch of Universal catalogs, and that included Marvel and all its catalogs as far as movies, merchandise. They could create theme parks because they had the complete licenses to that. And, unfortunately, he passed, and a bigger company came through and did exactly what Michael Jackson was trying to do and capitalize on all these Marvel movies. That I'm probably not going to say, but it's a bigger company, and they did that. So
Disney. Is that the one you're talking about?
Hey, I don't know. I didn't. You said it. I didn't.
I have to say it because it's my show. I got to say it, man. Disney FBI.
Yes. So, yeah, we could talk about Marvel. It's going the way it's supposed to go because, being purchased, it was already a mastermindful set of how it was going to get played out, and right on track.
Right on track.
Yeah,
okay.
Right on track.
Right on track. Check this out. Right on track, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, I would say their name, Disney.
You both.
Very bold.
Yeah.
Disney purchased Marvel from Paramount, which Paramount had gold with Marvel. Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America, The Avengers. Then you end up selling the license and the whole franchise to Disney, which at one time Kevin Feige was with them with Paramount, and I guess he migrated over to Disney as well. So he wasn't fully in charge at the time. He had another boss over him that he was clashing a whole bunch about the direction of the MCU and the movie budget, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then he became the boss over it. So we can say that the first 23 movies of Marvel was the standard, was phenomenal. You can't take back that type of success. That wasn't a fluke, right? And so it brought a new level of cinema to Tinseltown. Okay, to the point that everyone wanted to copy the formula, the universe building, build this monster verse, build this verse, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody wants to be like the Marvel Studio blueprint. DC came out, the DCEU at the time. They started differently, which at the time hurt them, then also made them who they are now. Because now they had a reboot, now they got people from Marvel that did Marvel movies direct here and there are now running, being the CFO, and just like Kevin Feige is of Marvel, got an MCU favorite and DCU favorite that's heading the whole franchise now, the DCU studios now, right? So now, they're going back to the Snyderverse. Now that Warner Brothers was trying to sell properties to Netflix, now I heard that they sell it to Amazon. But Amazon already got a superhero franchise in The Boys. So now that Amazon, now this might be rumor. I mean, I get the full article. I just read the byline. So I'm looking at this as saying, hey, if Warner Brothers wants to get on top right now, let's name the movies that's coming out. You got the Shazam, you got the Flash, you got Aquaman. Now Aquaman test pilots about Aquaman has got some bad reviews right now. The audience is not liking it. Not because the movie's terrible, it's because who's in it.
That's what I was saying. Like, how are they doing that? I know they had some scenes already. They were trying to cut some and trying to add it because, I guess they got to keep the storyline. I mean,
well, it really don't. They really don't.
So.
They really don't, man, because there's no chemistry with her and Jason Momoa anyway. And Amber, your name, that's who we're talking about. There's no chemistry, and that's what they're reporting. There's no chemistry with her, with nobody in the movie. Her character's not fun, and at the same time, getting bad marks on the film. And the film got like 6 months, almost not 6 months, 9 months to come out. So 9 months to 8 months to 7 months to come out. So 7 months. So now that's getting. So far, it might be rewritten or rescripted. We don't know. By the time reshoots might come. So before that movie come out,
they might need to.
I believe so. Now let's talk about the Shazam. I've seen a lot of TV spots with Shazam. Now I see Wonder Woman's in the movie, and I'm like, hold up, Wonder Woman's here. So it makes sense, but I didn't get the full understanding why she's in it. It just showed a quick TV spot. She's walking away. I'm like, she's in Shazam too. So it makes sense that Olympic gods is coming down to fight Shazam, and she's, Amazon. She's made by Zeus. I get that. So I wonder how many scenes she has in that movie. Now, to me, looking at it, Shazam is too, like we talked about already, too kid friendly, too as a character, not the whole plot in the movie, but he's too comical. Right, to a point that you can't take him seriously right now to a certain extent. Now there's a TV spot that I believe they're jabbing at Dwayne Johnson, which we will be talking about later on.
Hey, I got some. Yeah.
So Dwayne Johnson. So we just name dropping over here. So there's some TV spots that they're picking on Black Adam because now Shazam is in the black suit too.
Right.
And so I guess he's trying to go evil parts of the movie. I don't know. Got me intrigued. When I saw that Wonder Woman in that TV spot, that made me want now to go, and I'm intrigued now to go and see the movie. You've seen part one. I'm going to try to see this one. Regardless of the stuff I don't agree in the movie, witchcraft, But regardless of a superhero flick and a fan of comics, just go see it as a supporter. Now, what do you think about that? What is your perspective? about Shazam?
You know, Shazam.
You
Interesting.
forgot Marvel though. You forget Marvel. Would you be able to do? I ain't feel like talking about it right now. They're gonna be at the end. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, Shazam. Yeah, Shazam. I didn't know about the Wonder Woman thing, so that might that definitely adds a little element to it. But I think probably I would give it another chance, is because it's not just Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got other co-stars, other people with powers. It's going to be a little more than just a feature film with just him, just like a Black Adam, just Black Adam, that I really couldn't do, and I tried twice at least, and I just couldn't do it.
Black Adam is a tragedy of superhero making. Dwayne Johnson, we ain't even talking about let's talk about the Black Adam when we get to Dwayne. We're not talking about that during this segment. It's still Hollywood. Matter of fact, we could touch on it. And no, let's talk about
it needs his own thing.
Yeah, because he got his own segment. So on put slice of the pie here. So yeah, Shazam Part 1. I like the it was a good movie. It was okay movie. It wasn't bad or terrible. I watch it when I feel like watching. All right, I like the plot, I like the message. Right,
the story's great.
Yeah, the story's great. The 7 deadly sins. You introduced the family too early. Mm-hmm. I really think you introduced the family. The family's too powerful right now to be introduced right now. But when you see how they're using the family, I'm kind of like suspect. I'm like, no, man, this family is they can't make them cartoons too. You know what I'm saying? The family's too powerful. They took on the family. The Shazam family took on the Justice League by themselves and almost won. So having them early in the franchise is not a bad idea, but you have to up the ante, because it's all about family in Part 2. You see that the family is being terrorized by the new so-called goddesses, whatever they come to fight Shazam and the family. So now I was intrigued about that, dragons and black magic and stuff. I was like, it's not gonna get me going to see the sequel. But then I see the TV spots that his suit's turning black. You see this, the wizard that gave him the powers. Don't you do it? Don't do it. It's dangerous. And then all of a sudden you see his suit turning black, unless his suit is burnt. I don't know, but his suit is really black. In one spot, his eyes are like Black Adam. I'm like, is that fan made, or did somebody, or are they picking on Dwayne Johnson? I think they're picking on. It's a little jab to Dwayne. Dwayne should never ever separated himself from the franchise. He was originally slated to appear at the end of the first Shazam, right? But then he wanted Black Adam to be the Superman of the new direction they're going. He wanted to control age. See, I'm back on Dwayne Johnson. Let me get off that. So anyway, the Flash. Now Hollywood need no, because superhero movies is about to be extinct. And I'm saying why they're about to be extinct. Because for a long time, the action genre was the main source of revenue and box office attractions that was in Tinseltown, you know what I'm saying, Hollywood, right? Right. Now, the action genre kind of died off by mid-late 90s, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Slide, all the ones we grew up with. They kind of took a dip in their movie production and their franchises. Now, the superhero genre came in at the end of the 90s and kind of took over the action genre. Now trying to take over other genres with superheroes in it. You know what I'm saying? So they pretty much had been the front loaders of everything. Now, since Marvel is laying stinky eggs, they have some bad eggs they have laid, and I can name them all, and I am going to name them all. Tom Cruise came in with Top Gun Maverick and opened the door back for action movies. Not superhero movies, not superhero action movies. Action movies now. And he opened the door. I mean, Marvel allowed them to. Marvel had an iron grip, a chokehold on that genre with the superhero movies. Yeah. The genre was high. People was getting tired of it.
Just Iron Man alone, yeah.
Yes. Since Iron Man alone, it changed the game. Captain America Winter Soldier changed the game. He wasn't a superhero movie. It was superheroes in a spy movie. Their narrative, you kept putting them in different narrative situations. We know the superheroes. Look at the situations they're battling, right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they start putting to life more of their backstories and stuff like that. Yeah.
Correctly, sir. Correctly. Now, since Marvel, and let's go back to the great Marvel movie from the last 2 years, the ones that stood out. I'm talking about not the whole entire year. We're gonna start with Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay.
That was the last of the new slate. Phase 4, right? Phase 4.
Yeah.
That's the only good Marvel movie in Phase 4.
That's on that. Yeah.
It's the only one. It's the only one. And then I'm thinking it's gonna hype up Doctor Strange 2. No, man. No. Doctor Strange 2 was trash. If I want to see WandaVision the movie, I would have kept watching the show on Disney Plus. I want to see a live action version of that show.
That's exactly what it was.
Yes, it was trash. And then Black Widow.
Now, with that movie, and I'm not gonna try to discredit Black Widow by no means, because when the Avengers get together, she can hold some things down. But
come on, spit it out. Go ahead, spit it out. You can.
You're
legal. You're legal.
Put an entire movie on Black Widow. I can't even blame that. I can't blame Black Widow for how it came out and turned to be. I can't blame it.
Are you talking the actress or the character? Scarlett Johansson?
You know what? No, because I'm pretty sure just with the actress that they have, obviously, that's probably brought the most eyes and attention to the movie.
Okay.
But that being, I always question, okay, I understand Black Widow and what she is, but how can you make a whole movie and not just a movie? It's a Marvel movie. The standards and all that. Unless they were going to feature a bunch of Avengers, I just wasn't seeing, how it was going to hold.
Got you. And I'm going to say it shouldn't have been made like the way it was made. First of all, it was just a rip off the Winter Soldier. That's all it was. It's just different character, different settings, and that's it. Plot line. Well, it's close to the plot line, and that's it, man. It's just Winter Soldier all over again. Her Winter Soldier with Taskmaster, which I am going to destroy right now, what Marvel did to that character. Taskmaster is not female, okay? Taskmaster is not that weak. Actually, he's not weak at all. He adapts to every other character's abilities and then become a formidable foe against who he's fighting. Taskmaster develops and mimics his opponent's moves to become lethal, okay? That mess we got in Black Widow, I hope that was just call her Taskmaster and just have her in the movie, because if that is Taskmaster for the MCU, the MCU, if that's Taskmaster, man, you can have it, because she's supposed to be a part of the Thunderbolts. I'm not looking forward to that movie right now. Okay, from Eternals, let's skip Spider-Man, because I already know Spider-Man was the better of all the movies. From Eternals down to Black Panther right now. Phase 4 has been a nightmare. Thor, Love and Thunder, nightmare. It's scary. Oh, man. It's scary, man. I'm just like, what is going on? As we talked before, DC, Marvel have, okay, let's go Marvel. Marvel Comics, Marvel have the characters, okay? They have the characters. Stupid stories. DC have the story, but stupid characters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can make a character Dead Man. That's one of the characters, Dead Man. And he has a cult following in DC right now.
Yeah.
And if you make a movie about this dude, you have no choice to go horror, got no choice to go dark, which DC Dark Comics or Detective Comics, whatever they want to call themselves.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can do so much stuff with DC's the story with stupid characters versus Marvel with the good characters, and the stories are stupid. Marvel has dropped a major egg, man. They dropped a major Easter egg, a stink egg, a rotten egg in the game, brother. To the point, I don't know they can recover, bro. I'm serious.
I don't know.
I don't know they can recover, man.
Because it's almost like if I had to look at Marvel and look at their characters, I can take their characters and I can be like, when I was a kid, they just made the characters I'm looking at now. When I was a kid, the way they were branded to me were like, oh, action figures, and it was kind of cartoonish. I'm seeing them to life now, and I know it's to big conglomerate behind it, so I'm getting good production, but again, not really that good of a story. But then like I said, so I associate like Marvel as kind of like a childhood thing, and then when I get to my teenage years, I'm over to DC. I'm reading those type of comics. I'm reading those type of stories. Now I'm getting a little older. I'm getting a little teen. I still kind of like the little animated stuff, but now I kind of want to get into some of the good animated stuff as a teenager. That's like DC to me.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because I know anime is your cup of tea, brother. Is your cup of tea. I'm just going to say this. It's right now the DCU with the direction that James Gunn is taking it. He said, Fate Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. We know about DC and them and demons and monsters and whatever they're going through. Okay, I got to see it play out. I think they're in good hands. I think James Gunn's version of Superman is going to be on par or as equal with Zack Snyder's Superman. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it'll be any difference besides the Boy Scout mentality and Christopher Reeve coming back.
Right.
That is the only difference. We might see a still edgy and gritty, not necessarily a gritty Superman, but a bold and confident Superman with the Boy Scout mentality, but still get the things, do the things that's necessary to get done. That makes sense. That's why the movie's called Superman Legacy. So I see the new DCU going forward because right now Marvel messed up so bad, you open the door for them to take the crown. For instance, here comes The Flash. The Flash. Now, The Flash is now to a point where we're going, oh, my bad. The Flash is now to a point now that what in the world is going to happen with The Flash? Because The Flash now is going to reset the whole thing. Now, you've seen the trailers. You've seen Michael Keaton's Batman. That's the only draw to that movie.
Oh, man. That's
the only draw.
That's that'll pull in theaters alone just to see how it's supposed to be, how you expect, you know. Yeah,
that's it. That's it, man. Just to see Michael Keaton. Just to see Michael Keaton. And I'm telling you right now, just to see Michael Keaton, that's going to draw people to that movie. It's already got me excited to the movie, right? So even with that said and done, knowing that he's going to be in the movie, knowing that he's going to be that one that's going to say, hey, come see me, right?
All right.
I'm hyped just for that alone. But when I say you, but when you want to take parts of other stories and make your movie from and it's not faithful to the source material. Look, the movie's based on Flashpoint. Now, what better movie to start out a Flash franchise than that story alone, right?
Right.
It makes sense right now for the DCU to use the Flash to reboot the whole entire DCU, right? The new 52 unit per se, right? Like he did in the comics, right? Mm-hmm. Or what we thought he did, because that Dr. Manhattan had some hands in that. That's another story. So Doomsday Clock. So the thing is, with the Flashpoint, the trailer was impressive because of Batman, because of Michael Keaton playing Batman. The action, they switched Superman to Supergirl, okay? Because Henry Cavill was supposed to be in it too. He had some scenes. I guess they cut him out, edited him out. Okay, now Supergirl, and she's playing his role as it was in the Flashpoint story. Okay, So now, are we gonna be surprised to see Cyborg, Aquaman, and any other superheroes in this movie? Because they're going to spoil everything. Because it's nothing but No Way Home for the DCU, right? So it's No Way Home for the DCU, but it's going to work. And the reason why this is the reason why I think it's going to work, because the MCU messed up. That's the only thing I got for it, man. That's the reason why it's going to work.
It's going to work because the MCU, they gave MCU the shot with all the resources, all the backing they got. They dropped the ball, so now it's like, okay, well, if y'all failed and we got to compare, it got to be better than that.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. They shouldn't mess it up, but then they could drop the ball on both. It could.
They could.
Normally that's not the case. Normally you're gonna dissect what nobody liked about this one and make sure you keep all that out and make sure we got it together on this one. it's kind of like, you know, fact checking. Like, oh, that was the mock movie. Let's go ahead and get it right, y'all. Let's go ahead and we've been seeing all the comments. People have been bashing this, that. Let's make sure we do it.
That's true. I mean, you know, when I say that's true, because I do agree with you. Because now is the time for the DC. Well, we have to say DCU. Okay, DCU, whatever. Yeah. Now it's their time now. I really believe it's their time to shine. It's their time to pick up where Marvel messed up, and Kevin Feige knows this. Yeah, Kevin Feige, he knows it, man. He knows they messed up. Right now, I was hyped. I was very hyped for the X-Men. I was very hyped for the Fantastic Four. Now seeing the last few movies that they put out, even Ant-Man. Okay, we ain't talk about Ant-Man. People say the Ant-Man is a remake of Spy Kids 3D. When you watch it, it's a remake of Spy Kids 3D.
Hey, that might be a little disrespectful. That might be a little too disrespectful.
I don't know, man. John Sierra sent me the grift, right? And it's a chart, right? It's a chart. And it breaks down the chart of every scene. No, and one scene's from Shop Boy and Lava Girl. And that scene where MODOK is in the movie of Ant-Man, then you have the character that George Lopez played in Shop Boy and Lava Girl. Mm-hmm. They compared scene by scene. I started busting out laughing, man, because the costumes are similar. Just different person wearing different costumes. Spy Kids 3D. It's John sent me that. John Sierra sent me to him. Nice. He do it all the time. It's funny, man. And I'm telling you right now, I'm like, wow, that movie's that bad. You know, people say it's good, but it's bad. You ever heard that term? The movie's good, but it's bad because
cinematically you can make a good movie, but it can just be horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. Yeah, I can be. Wow, I'm watching something amazing, but what am I watching?
What am I watching? Man, look, Doc. They said. Okay, I can say what they say. I'm just gonna go by what I know. When you take a fan favorite character, right, and you just ruin him in live action format when people would love to see him live action. Personally, I'm not a big fan of MODOK. I know what MODOK can do in the comics, though. In the cartoon, you know, the X-Men. We know what he can do in Mojo, right? But the MODOK they have for Ant-Man 3, they're trying to tie loose ends from the first movie to the end for this movie. And I'm not going to run it for you because we ain't going to spoil no movies. But they're trying to tie in the loose ends from the end, the villain from part 1. Now you get it. So now that the people know this, that's why the movie is so trash. Now, Jonathan Majors, they say he was phenomenal as Kang, and he did his thing. But overall, movie was not Marvel-esque. It was not a Marvel. It was supposed to be a tentpole. It wasn't an Ant-Man movie. That's what people are saying. It wasn't an Ant-Man movie. It was another movie promoting other movies versus being a threequel to a successful franchise to a low-known B-rated character in Marvel, right?
Right.
And sending them out in the sunset. Now, I personally haven't seen the movie. I'm going by the rumors and what people are saying. But it's more people saying the same thing versus saying anything good about it. You know, so it's kind of, especially as a Marvel fan that I am, you know, when you mess up, you know, when you mess up Marvel characters and Marvel momentum and story and plot, dude, man, you pretty much lost me for a long time. Like, for instance, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I see where they're going with it. I see the direction, but you did not execute it to me. This is my perspective. People watching, don't get mad at me. I know it's not a terrible movie. It just ain't. Okay, is it a great successor to part 1? No. I just gotta be real with it. It's not.
Yeah, it couldn't be. It couldn't. Even if they tried, it couldn't be.
They had so much pressure for this one. If they should have recast T'Challa, he shouldn't have died. Now the person playing the character, you want to attribute him. I get it. With the multiverse saga out there, you could have brought T'Challa into the movie. He could have been still the Black Panther. I didn't mind recasting T'Challa because of the multiverse saga.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that might be something we might get later on, obviously with that being said, multiverse. But I think just at that time, I think for just to respect all the actors, everybody on set, everybody who, put in production for that. Or that could have been a simple request around there. Somebody could have been like, hey, I know things is going on. This is like this. Let's just not even try to do anything respectfully. Everybody agreed to, kind of go in that direction, maybe.
Well, they did say there was a petition out there to get T'Challa recast. Then they was going to make him CG. Now the CG part, no, that wouldn't work. I get it. It was ticked off with more of the fans. But get somebody else to play the character and have a protagonist to go against Namor the whole movie versus his sister. Now, if you wanted the Black Panther the whole movie, you should have made the synthetic herb, give it to your mother, give it to the queen if she's going to die in the script anyway. Made her the Black Panther for a while, and then the part where she fought Namor had a best and she died in battle because she's a warrior. So, but Siri is not a warrior. She in the comic book she is. The movies made her a whiz kid, a whiz child, right? To a point that she got weapons she fights with, but she's not a warrior in skill and battle like Okoye is. So having her play Black Panther and at the end get impaled, just like Killmonger got impaled. Why did he die and she survived? See, you could have brought Michael B. Jordan to play Killmonger, or an alternate. Check this out. An alternate version of T'Challa.
Yeah,
Talk to me.
Could have.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Or he could have been. Oh no! I'm gonna let you hit on.
No, I was saying no. I haven't thought about that. No, that's a good idea. No, I'm gonna let you keep going on that. But no, I was just agreeing that.
Well, I'm just saying it's just the movie's terrible, man. I mean, it's not a bad movie, but it's not. I can't watch it back. Look, remember my code. Back if it's not back, my dad gave my father, JB Johnny Stanley Boyd Jr. gave me the two best lines in watching movies ever. I'm gonna say sentence ever when it comes to watching movies. He said, if the movie is not back to back watching quality, then it's not worth watching. It's not worth saying it's a good movie. You know what I'm saying? If you can't watch the movie back to back, then it's not a good movie. My father taught me that, and that's been one of my staples for all my life, and it's real because I see it how he see it. I don't care if my favorite actor in it. Jean-Claude Van Damme had some terrible movies. He had all his movies. Look, I'll be honest with you. Grew up watching Bloodsport. Growing up watching Bloodsport and in the 80s was nice because the only thing we had to watch. It was nothing else. Yeah. But the thing is, going back watching that movie now, that movie was trash, dude. I'm sorry. It was garbage. And then people like, oh, Bloodsport was good. No, man, it wasn't one of his best movies. No. Time Cop was one of the best movies for me, for Jean-Claude Van Damme, period. What about Kickboxer? Cyborg was trash. I don't care what nobody say. I don't like that movie. That movie did not stick out to me. It was before its time. But what in that movie before its time? That movie was nothing but a porno. That's all it was.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Nobody want to watch him see.
Yeah, it was more of that than any action in there.
Yeah. And then he get a lawsuit in the movie for kicking the dude for real, and he sued him. I remember that from day one back in the day. So Cyborg wasn't good. Now, Kickboxer was okay. Tom Hull, it was okay. It was trash still. It wasn't the best. It wasn't terrible. And when I say trash, I'm back up with Kickboxer. Kickboxer wasn't trash. It's just okay movie. Now, Universal Soldier, I give him a hat. Everybody with their Robot Terminator movie. Yeah, he got one. Okay, but name all the other Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Double Team, Dennis Rodman? No, okay. I like
that's one of my favorite ones in my heart.
You like it? Let me tell you something.
That's one of my favorite ones in my heart, man. That's it. Because that movie, I felt like, how did y'all even get this? How did y'all put this together?
Yes, it was silly. It was silly. Now, Sudden Death, Die Hard ripoff. Sorry, dude. You was offered the role when Die Hard 1 was being offered to you. You was offered to play Jean-Claude Van Damme. You, Sly, Arnold, Seagal, all you big-time guys. but you all turned it down. Bruce Willis turned it down the first time too. You hear me? But since he was on a 6 months production hiatus because his co-star was pregnant, he ended up accepting the job. Now movie history. You can't make nobody else play John McClane.
Nope.
Now you get all these clones that coming out to try to beat Die Hard. So no, Sudden Death was trash. It wasn't fun. It wasn't kooky. It wasn't. You just was a cash cow that failed. Now there's another movie I like. Jean-Claude Van Damme was dear to my heart. That's one of my. He only got 2 for me. It's Time Cop and Double Impact. Double Impact is one of my favorites. Well, about to say what?
Oh no, I thought you was gonna join my movie.
Lionheart. I give it a number 3. I give that my number 3. Lionheart. I give that my number 3.
Yeah,
I give that my number 3. But those are the top 3 of any Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that I like. I can name a lot more. Replica was good. Replicant was good when he played another twin, him of himself, as a serial killer. I like that, but that is not in his prime. That is in his 60s and he's 7 years old or something like that. That's now. I'm talking about in the 80s when I grew up. Arnold Schwarzenegger had some hits, but he fizzled out. Sly fizzled out. His last great hit to me was Demolition Man. Besides, now I'm talking about his older years now. I'm talking about back in the day, late 90s. Demolition Man was his last great one. Rocky 4, all that. Rocky 5 was the end part is good to me.
Yeah, they worn those out.
Creed, all that. So, man, I'm glad we talking in because the segment, the next segment's got to be, this cat right here. Oh Lord, we're going to spend 5 minutes on him. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you take the floor.
All right. Well, since we're not spending too much time, I want to jump right into it though. No, it was an interesting fact though. Can you tell me Dwayne Johnson's highest grossing movie? His
highest grossing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about domestic or global or just
all together? So they don't have to be a standalone co-star, all that. You even put the franchise, the legendary franchise into there. But what would you say to care to figure? Was his highest grossing?
His highest grossing movie has to be the Fast 5 series. Fast 5. That's one of his highest grossing movies, co-star, whatever. His standalone.
Okay, yeah. What if you had to shoot out and say a wild guess, what would be standalone? I guess most standalone. It's more standalone than the
gotcha.
Fast series. But
let me retract that. Fast 7 because it made $1 billion, so that's the highest.
Yeah.
But, okay, let me retract that. But now Dwayne Johnson's highest grossing standalone movie with no co-star, just him as a star.
And
co-stars in it, but
But aside from the Furious, because that franchise was already legendary before he jumped in, so
it's sad to say. I'm going to say this. It is sad to say, but his highest standalone movie currently is that trash Black Adam. Now, if you got something in a movie and you got the digits, let me know. Talk to me.
No. Sadly, I didn't even want to bring up the Black Adam, but sadly, that is currently close to date now. Before that,
you're talking before. You're talking about the back in the day. Then.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put in Black Adam because he done it. It's gross. It's in the books.
Yeah.
But I say before that, it's a movie. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't even go watch it. But I guess the box office loved it, so it went with it, and it was the movie he did, the Hobbs & Shaw movie.
Oh Lord, Jesus! The spinoff Hobbs & Shaw. Okay.
And it's crazy. I guess the tie to the franchise pushed it enough.
Yes,
but other than that, Other than the cartoon, the Moa, the Hawaiian cartoon animated. Other than that.
That was a cartoon too. That Hobbs & Shaw was a cartoon too. It was a superhero movie. That's what it was. And yes, now Hobbs & Shaw was not terrible. It just wasn't what we expected from a spinoff from the Fast and Furious. And then you push all these cameos with Kevin Hart, which is another one we're talking about. Well, if you got look, matter of fact, we're gonna cut the Dwayne Johnson only got 2 more minutes.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, because we got to talk about Kevin. So even with that said and done, man, Husband Shaw wasn't that great. It was not terrible. Can I watch it right now and say, "Ah, man, this movie was awesome," and I'm going to watch him? No. You know why? Because he didn't bring it to the table. He's the same character every movie. Jason Statham more entertaining in the movie. And no, the best character of that movie was the sister.
Yeah.
It was her movie. Yeah. It technically was her movie.
She tied that movie in and kept it going. Like,
and she was the best. She was the best version. She's the best person in that movie. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I enjoyed that movie because of her. Not Dwayne Johnson. Jason Statham was okay, but when I say just them alone, it wasn't. Man, no, I can't even watch that movie if I wanted to. Albert Iba, he was great in there.
Yeah, I can't. I can't watch any Dwayne Johnson's movie. Like your father said, the back-to-back rule, it will never, ever, ever apply in any Dwayne Johnson, other than if I'm watching old WWE footage. I'm not not going back to back there.
Well, I'm gonna get off Dwayne Johnson because we talked about him enough at work, and this guy right here, so he's in the exact same feeling, brother. He's not funny. He got moments of funniness. You know, Kevin
now,
Hart.
Are we talking about Kevin Hart, the comedian, or the actor?
Okay, Kevin Hart, the comedian, his stand-up comedian. Well, I don't really watch his stuff, so I glimpse at his stuff. He has some funny things, but it's not all that. To me, it's not all that funny.
I agree with you. Yeah, it's fine. I agree.
It's sold out. It's sold out, packed out. But regardless of that, some of these dudes are paid in promo to get there. Trust me on that. We were talking about that. That's another segment. But the thing is, he as a comedian, he has the punchlines. He has the timing, right?
Yeah, the witty comebacks
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like the Hollywood Husbands of Hollywood, whatever the show he got with all that. I glance at that. I watch a few clips of that. It's funny.
Yeah.
Now that's the funniest. Yeah, that's the funniest thing he's into me.
Yeah, that's perfect for his type of comedy.
Exactly.
That type of show. Yes.
Everything about him. But just him, Night School, all his movies, Central Intelligence. I did like the movie because I like how he portrayed himself in that. He wasn't trying to be funny, but he's a comedian.
Well, what about Mr. Kevin Hart here? What is his highest grossing movie if you had to guess there?
My God, I don't even know because that's the point. He does. I don't consider him being a standalone box office draw.
Well, let's say even with co-stars, just any of his movies. I know he's not Dwayne Johnson.
Well, I'm going to say Jumanji, the new Jumanjis, the new Jumanjis. If you say just you said no, so what's his highest grossing standalone? Well, he ain't got no standalone, but what's his highest movie? He's in.
His highest grossing movie is not even a real movie. It's animated.
You talking about Captain Underpants?
No.
Well,
I mean, the character that he's in that movie kind of is like a Captain Underpants character, but it's a animal family type movie.
Oh, you talking about the Wild? Not the Wild. I don't know what movie it was.
It's the it was Life of Pets.
Oh, Life of Pets 1 and 2.
Part 2 was his highest grossing movie that he brought in.
That's sad because you didn't see his face.
Other than that, it took The Rock to get to Jumanji, and then we can't even really sprinkle stuff into that. We'll look. It's just I couldn't even remember too much of the other ones. They didn't really.
Well, like I said, Central Intelligence was to me his with Dwayne Johnson was a highlight. Better than Jumanji.
The Ride Along, I think that's probably my favorite. Just because I like Ice Cube.
That was the biggest. Tim Story. I like some of his movies that he made. Okay, Tim Story did 1 and 2. I was happy that I'm a buddy cop movie guy. Okay, I love dynamic, I love chemistry, I love the partnership. That's because I'm a loyal person. You know what I'm saying? When right along, I saw him and Ice Cube teaming up. I said, this is going to be funny. I immediately thought about All About the Business with him and Michael Epps, right?
Oh yeah.
I immediately come to mind like, okay, it's gonna be funny. They're gonna go all out. It's Radar 2. They're gonna go all out. Kevin Hart gonna be Kevin Hart in his own way. Ice Cube gonna be Ice Cube. It's gonna be fun. Then I saw the director, Tim Story. I said, okay, Tim Story got some good movies, man. I said, okay, let's do it. Watching Ride Along 1. Went to sleep. Boring. Not even funny. I said, No. Let me backtrack. The part when he was supposed to be Alonzo, whatever the Lawrence Fishburne's character at the end. That was funny. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey.
That was funny. Now, that's the only funny part of the movie, because when he slapped Ice Cube and had everybody fooled who he was, that was funny.
Yeah.
Now, let's just skip to part 2. Because part 2, bigger budget, more time to film this movie.
Yeah, they messed it up.
You messed it up to a point where it could have been your, not say Bad Boys 2, but at least your Bad Boys. Because part 1 was not your Bad Boy. Part 1 had a great concept, Ride Along. I'm like, that's right. That was
really
awesome.
Was.
It was, I like, come on, man, this is gold. But then you see it executed. Because like I said, I don't go against none of the production teams or nothing like that. If y'all listening to this podcast, anybody out there that's part of production teams or movies and studios, I never bash the production team because that's what I'm trying to develop myself. So the thing is, I would never go against the production value and how the vision and how it's put together. But the editing room, and how you edit it and slice this movie up and then release it, that's my problem. That's why I become a critic. Because you need to get somebody, you know what, back to Ride Along 2. Hit and miss. Part 1, big hit and miss. Part 2 could have saved the franchise. We could have had a part 3 by now.
Okay? Yeah, easily.
So part 2 was so rushed in production, bigger budget, more time to do some great things, some funny things. The trailer had me hyped a little bit. Now he's a cop, you know, and he got to go to Miami to get back to his wedding. It's always some type of state, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was, who's the funniest person in that movie? I can't name nobody. Olivia Munn, she had some funny moments. I've been at tough cops, but she's what's Chow, the dude from Hangover, Chow, the informant.
Yeah.
He had some funny moments.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I want to butcher his name and say the Chinaman. I ain't gonna say all that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He had some funny moments in Ride Along 2, but the movie was not good.
No,
it hit and miss the actions, and then you have Benjamin, my guy from the bad guy. I like his acting. You had him as a bad guy, still a bad guy that had no clout, man, nothing, no substance. Hit and miss, big hit and miss. So you saying Secret Life of Pets 2 is his biggest movie? I know why, because he wasn't in the movie the whole movie. And so,
he was the funniest thing for kids. He was the funniest thing in that.
Yeah, he was, and that's the only credit I could give him. Now, if someone go back and he gets with this podcast and hearing us talking about him, that's fine. I would like him to reach out. Kevin Hart, reach out to me and talk to me, sir, that we could talk about your movies. Kevin Hart, your movies are not that good. You don't even have a standalone movie. Even Me Time on Netflix. No.
I mean, it's doing its thing on Netflix, though.
It's Netflix. People got nothing to do. Get out and walk your dog or something. Hug a baby girl.
Bunch of shared passwords out there, Yeah,
it's trash, man. Now they will crack down passwords. I see why. Because movies like this, and then The Man from Toronto, which was originally for Jason Statham to be the role that Woody Harrelson was, but he turned it down. I wonder why. Can you look at the production value of this movie? Man, it's like a cartoon. And I'm like, excuse me, not bashing production. I'm talking about you got to do what you got to do. But the way the movie's put together, the editing and whatever, the special effects on it, it was funny to a certain extent, but not him. Woody Harrelson, the character, was the funniest character in that movie. Yeah, I said it, Kevin. I said it.
Yeah, he definitely made the movie a little bit. I could chuckle too.
Yeah. And before we go any further, a word from our sponsor, HelloFresh. Eat the #1 meat kit in America. I'm going to show you some guys that you will be very, 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 very happy to go and happy to eat. HelloFresh, the #1 meal kit in America.
HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit delivery service and health meal plan. Meal kits that range from wide ranges of receipts. 16 free HelloFresh meals across 9 boxes, and first box ships free. Use my promo code POP95334 for 65% off your first box. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
All right. So with this, we might as well finish it with Kevin Hart. And the next one we'll pick up with our favorite segment, anime. Oh yeah. Because I want to hear more about Naruto and Boruto. And we're gonna just compare, because I'm gonna say who's better, and we're gonna have that debate. We actually gonna have to have some disagreements in that one.
Yeah. I knew it was gonna be a time. That's fine with me.
So finish with Kevin Hart. Okay, yes, Kevin Hart has no real clout about him in his movies. He doesn't. No one, like you said, Netflix. Let's put Netflix. No one said, "Hey, let's watch a comedy tonight, sweetheart," like date night with your wife, or if you're out there watching with your girlfriends or whatever. Hey, let's watch a comedy. Okay, so who do you want to watch? Now you're saying who? Because it's a comedian, a specific comedian, a specific movie. It don't matter if it's color or white person or Latino descent. Whatever culture or race they are. You have somebody in mind. You want movie you want to watch, or you search and you're gonna watch it, right? You're not gonna say, "Hey, let's watch a Kevin Hart movie." He doesn't have a standalone movie. It's not his movie.
Yeah.
And so no one say he's that laugh out funny to say, "Hey, let's watch a Kevin Hart movie." Nobody says that. We say, let's watch Eddie Murphy, Golden Child, or Chris Tucker, Money Talks. No, Chris Tucker has more movies than Kevin Hart that you could name and go against anything that he puts up with. It made more money than this cat.
Yeah.
So you can't. So let's watch a Kevin. Look, sweetheart, let's watch a Kevin Hart movie. No one says that. It doesn't come out nobody's mouth.
That don't even sound right.
It doesn't even sound right at all.
He's an actor. Just sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's the funny part, man. And you're just constantly like, you know what, man? There's no movie this cat could carry. He tried drama. He tried Wesley Snipes thing. Look. I commend him on his business sense.
Oh yeah.
He has a great production company. He got great scripts to produce for himself, and he gets other people on to the movies. Okay, I understand that. Great segment. Great. Rapport building, and he's on what's that? It show the Sharks. That you get strike a deal with the Sharks.
Shark Tanks.
Yeah, Shark Tanks. He's on that constantly, and he's teaming up with Mark Cuban and stuff. Be coming out with new products. He's co-owner. He's co-owner or co-investor to the I don't know. It's not called Black Comics, but it's a Black comic book company that's producing Black Sands. There it is, Black Sands, and he wants to bring all that stuff, live action stuff, and that's a good when business says it might work out.
Oh yeah.
But as an actor, now comedian, is sold out. He got loyal fans. He got loyal fans. They're gonna show out in the dozen, right? But when it comes down to being an actor and having your own movies, you got to have a co-star of a good name and recognition to be in your movies. And that to me, that's not having your own movie. I want the wedding ringer, the wedding ringer.
Mm-hmm.
That was his movie.
Yeah,
he had Josh Glad in there. And Josh Glad was known for Frozen and all the other movies, Pixels, but that was Kevin Hart's main vehicle, right? That was his main budget vehicle. It's Kevin Hart. He is the face on the poster, a lot of other faces, but if you're going to see it for Kevin Hart, not for Josh Glad and the what's her name from The Big Bang Theory. She's the girl up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
The girls co-star.
Kuko.
There's Kitty on there.
Yeah. So you wasn't coming to see Doom 2, regardless they're known. He was supposed to come to see because of Kevin Hart. When you watch that movie, his execution of the script of that movie and plot and direction of that movie, I didn't know where he was going with it. And so, like I said, no one said, hey, let's go watch The Wedding Ringer. Or let's go watch Night School, which is mostly Tiffany Haddish and everybody else around you. And you just
all Tiffany Haddish.
All Tiffany Haddish.
And that's at the top of her career. So, yeah, it was going to do
a former career. Well, if she still has one.
Yeah, but, kind of jeopardize that.
Yeah. So I think I'm exhausted with this topic, this guy, because to me, Kevin Hart has some laugh out moments in things he say. Okay, but all like through an hour comedy show or movie, he's not funny.
No, yeah, I give him the comedy for sure. But it just the movie thing. I think it worked because the comedy at the time worked so well.
Mm-hmm.
But to anybody who sit back and watch movies, if you honestly say that they're great movies, I can't agree. I can't personally agree with you. I'll just leave it at that.
No, no one can. And two, you know, Kevin Hart, Cat Williams is funnier than him. Cat Williams is funnier than Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart, he has all these business. It's not hate. First of all, we're not hating on Kevin Hart.
Oh no, by no means.
By no means.
Yeah, the man's super talented. That's what I said.
He got something
in his lane.
Yes, he's doing what he's doing. He got the money. We're trying to get the money. Okay, on money coming out of that.
Yeah,
we understand where he's at and how he got there. We want to talk about that. Never mind. Anyway, Cat Williams is funnier than this cat. I can watch certain old stuff of Cat Williams and laugh out every time. Yeah. So Kevin Hart as an actor, he needs to go back to I ain't say drawing board because he's deep in the game now. He just need if he comes out with a movie for himself, right? Come out with a movie for himself with no co-stars of no name origins, you know what I'm saying? No name, talent, or fame. Just Kevin Hart with no name actors. And he carries the movie, and the movie's funny. I will see that. But there's no such thing in his catalog.
No, couldn't. And he would have to be funny. I'm glad you said funny because I couldn't see it where he's serious or drama or have to be anything else.
Anything else, man. So I'm just gonna have to say, man, we're nearing down, to the time. But anything else you want to put out about these so-called subjects we talked about, man? Because I had video games was supposed to be next. I think I jumped ahead of the game, but that's next time. That's next weekend. So,
I mean, other than just to harp on games since it's up there, if anybody's into fighting games, we're gonna get some really, really good content. It's a lot of different ones. We got our Taken 8 coming out. We got our Street Fighter 6 coming out.
My joints.
We got our Mortal Kombat 12 even coming out.
Yeah,
I play 11. It's just Mortal Kombat is Mortal Kombat.
It's Mortal Kombat, but
it's Mortal Kombat.
It's porn. It's porn. It's gore porn. That's what it is.
Oh, for sure.
Torture porn. That's
but even then, they even died it down because they're like, we can't do the same things over and over again.
Hold on, wait. Our first disagreement of the whole entire episode, it comes 2 minutes before we leave. Now we disagree. You said they tone it down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, to me, they tone it down a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still a lot of gore, but they tone it down. Like they made it a little more accessible, easier. It's quick.
No.
They don't stretch it out.
They show the whole the anatomy of a human body being cracked, being broke open, guts, heart, lungs, kidneys being destroyed, guts. I mean, they go to the next level. Like Ed Boon, not Ed Boon, but it's Ed Boon. Ed Boon goes to a doctor and studies the body and asks him how does a severed limb look, when you cut it off, a leg, and then I need graphic pictures Stuff like that. Like he goes to Hollywood for the horror theme section of Hollywood to get them to see this horror stuff. That's ridiculous, man. No.
I mean, but it looks exactly like that. It looks like, wow, that's so gory. It's not real. It's got to be some kind of. I might have been more convinced that I punched a man and he landed in spikes on my Sega, and I kind of am right now, like on my PlayStation stuff now. It looks like I'm playing a movie. It's like I got control, but as soon as I press the certain commands, I gotta watch a movie clip. That's
CG. Right.
That looks like aesthetically too great to where I'm like, this is believable. It's just hey, but again, I'm not taking it. It's definitely gory. It is gory. But to me, not as much now. Like even playing it, I feel like we're going to the next scene. I can almost hit the skip button and we can just jump to the next fight.
Hey, this is gonna be the beginning of the next segment. This coming weekend, we're gonna roll it back. And this has been the Bottom Line's weekend review show for the weekend. If we just recap everything we want to talk about, and we just go over how we see it, our perspective. That's what we do here. And wrong or right, don't matter, controversial or not. Look, we're going to talk about it. This is what this show's about, real talk for real people and real subjects and real understanding. So if you don't want to watch, turn the channel. There's nothing against it, nothing personal. It's just business. Lord, business. Lego movie, that's that. So, sir, bro, I appreciate you once again. Doc Reed, always a pleasure on the show. Next weekend, come with your A game. What else? Starting out with video games, the same segment. We're gonna start out with Mortal Kombat, whatever we want to talk about. Like I said, it's free flow on weekends because our schedules during the week, people. Normally you see me Tuesday and Wednesdays, but the schedule changed because I'm in school now with a full-time job in school and a family and get to balance things out. And I thank the Father, the Lord in heaven, to allow us to do it this weekend. So when we get free time and he blesses us to do it, we're gonna keep doing it. So, hey, bottom liners, we love you. God bless you. Salute you. Doc, thank you again for showing yourself on the show, man. It's always a pleasure. Next weekend's going to be lit.
Yes,
Video
sir,
games, Japanese anime, and then I'm glad we got Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart out of the way. So, but we're going to get to some new stuff. So, other than that, guys, you guys stay blessed. Have a blessed weekend. And Doc, always a pleasure. Blessing to your family, man, and just get ready for next weekend, brother.
Yes, sir.
The next show is going to be fire too. Yes, sir. It's going to be fire, and I appreciate that. So, to me, to you, and to everybody that's watching, that has watched and will be watching, hey, you have enjoy yourself, a blessed month, and we'll see you again.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yes, sir.
The Bottom Line, weekdays on LDB TV. Presented by LDB Media Corp.